Yo, what's up, people? Welcome to the channel where we talk about music licensing, music production, and music business. If you love any of the previously mentioned, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my latest content and hit that bell icon so you know exactly when that new content drops. Shout out to everybody in the stream, man. We're back for another episode of the Music is My Business podcast. Super excited to be back, man. Let me see who we got in the building. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do. Stephen Michael Music, I see you. First off, why is this so tiny? Let's fix that so we can actually see what is going. That's crazy. It must have been some update and it just decided to shrink everything. Sebi Beats is in the building. What's up, Sebi? Game Splash, what's good? Dariano Productions, what's up? Keaton, what's up? Shout out to Team Dope in the building and Team Super Dope. If you aren't a channel member, consider becoming a channel member. The link is in the description so you can see behind the scenes videos and me work on actual briefs for TV and all that dope stuff. Man, super it's been an interesting week. Kayla, what's good? Zimzada, what's up? Oh man, like I just got a bunch of chats at once and it just like moved me away. Demolo, what's good? DJ Ducky Duck, what's up? Gems, Art Z, what's up, bro? Garvey is back in the building. East Bay, Cali, I see you. Vex E in the building, what's up? I see you. Waves still can't be trusted. That you already know. That's what we about to talk about. Is Waves. Man, so I don't know. If you don't know what's going on with Waves, which I feel like everyone does by now. If you don't know, Waves announced over the weekend that they were switching to just subscription only model. Like just boom, out of nowhere. Here you go. Subscription only. If you have perpetual licenses, that's cool. You can keep them. But when it comes time for you to actually upgrade, like if you're using, a Mac OS and it's time for you to upgrade and those old version of Wave plugins don't work, you are now forced into Wave's subscription model. So that's what they announced, this past week. Meaning if you're like an OG Waves user and say you've bought, one of the bundles, which is like thousands of dollars, like it's just you still are forced to go in subscription. So you could have paid a couple thousand for a bundle back in the day, and then boom, say an update happens and you like have to switch and update plugins, like you will be paying in perpetuity every month Waves. So it created an uproar. The entire community spoke out about it, and today they actually made an announcement that they're pretty much falling back on that whole idea. They're bringing perpetual licenses back in addition to the subscription, which is cool. I still think they need to get rid of that trash Waves update plan thing though, because still it's a way to get more money down the road, again, especially if you're using a Mac, because y'all know Apple in these updates, man, they release like 7 to 10 OS updates a year. I'm like major ones, like it's a new mountain every other month. It's crazy. But so I don't like to update much, but there's some times where it's like, okay, I have to update because some other app I use isn't working right, or something's messed up with the continuity and it screws up my workflow. So it's like, all right, now's the time to do it. So if you're in a situation like that, it can be really frustrating. So they decided to bring the perpetual licenses back. And yeah, now people don't trust them. They've lost trust in a lot of users and customers. And now that's just the price they're gonna have to pay for making that decision initially without considering all of their customers, not just like the new ones that they want to attract with this subscription model, but also the ones that's been around for years and that has invested hundreds and thousands of dollars into their plugins. So that's what's been going on, man. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. So yeah, they sent that apology email. Listen, man, they was feeling that heat. They was feeling the heat. I mean, they were getting emails. They were getting, man, they were getting everything. So and in social media alone, and it was crazy because you'll do a search on YouTube to get updated on the information, and then you see their ads like right above the videos, pretty much saying like, "Yo, this model is trash," and then you see the ads at the top about for their subscription plan. It was kind of crazy. So yeah, it's been crazy, man. So now, I mean, that's what happens. You've lost some trust. So some people are just like, I'm still jumping ship, or gradually kind of phasing out. And then some people are like, it's all good. Like, I'm gonna still rock with them anyway. I got a bunch of old sessions, and I'm not about to like switch, plugins for all that stuff. So it's like I get both sides 100%. So my thing is, at least give us options. And now we have options. I would just really like for them to come up with something different. I don't know what it would look like, but just something other than that Waves update plan. Because it just, it sucks. Like I updated to a Mac Studio, and when was that? Like the end of last year. And because of the software that comes on the Mac Studio, I had to update certain Wave plugins. So even though I've already paid for these plugins, I had to pay like an additional $300-400 just to be able to continue to use them. So that's why I always wait. Like I don't do updates and upgrades when I'm in the middle of like TV film projects and stuff like that, or mixing projects, because you just never know like what you're gonna run into, and it can be annoying. You already know. Like, so yeah. Lamar says, I saw the update on the Wave situation earlier today. Yes, indeed. UAD better never try this. It is, yeah. I agree on eliminate the Waves update. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, and it's like, I don't know, like the price of it, it's outrageous. Like, why is it so much? I already paid for the plugin. So I don't know. I think, I don't know. Do something different. So yeah, DJ Ducky Duck with the question: should I put my music out under a LLC with sync licensing? Should they all be registered with BMI or ASCAP? Yeah. So no, like your music that you put out it doesn't have to be under an LLC. It can be like under your artist name, writer name. That's registered with BMI or ASCAP. Depending on who you're signing the music to is going to depend on the whole ASCAP BMI thing. With the libraries that I usually work with, yes, all the stuff will eventually get registered with BMI ASCAP. And usually that's done through the music library on your behalf. But there are some out there. I was just talking to a student earlier this week. There's some out there where they don't register tracks with the PRO, just because of how their business model is set up, and the fact that they're providing music to a lot of these content creators that still want to monetize and things like that from their like YouTube videos and stuff. So there's companies like Epidemic Sound, like their model, and there's another reason somebody told me that they have to do it like that. I forget what it was, but yeah, it's like it's crazy because you have to think too, just like outside of the U.S. and the laws of the U.S., there are other countries where there's just certain things in place that affect what you can and cannot do with copyrighted material and all that stuff. So yeah. Garvey says, Apple updates suck. I literally have years of software on standby in a folder because it was more convenient to gravitate to a few new plugins. Analog era simplicity was dope. I feel you. A lot of people was just talking about just I'm about to just go back analog. Like a lot of people were saying that. Like I think for me personally, I think some analog would be cool. But I also like to be mobile. Like and it's easier for me to use like a lot of the software stuff, because like, you know, if I gotta make something on the go, like I'm not gonna like I'm not about to pack up a bunch of hardware. I'm sorry, like I'm not about I'm not about to be traveling through the airport with, you know, all this heavy gear, and then you risk the gear getting messed up, or it's like the only time I can work and run stuff through my setup would be like when I'm at home, and it's just like, you know, there's a trade-off. There's pros and cons to both. Definitely a lot of pros though to, you know, to the analog stuff. So yeah, Epidemic, like you can't even be registered with a pro. Like I asked him, I was like, yo, so I work in sync, you know, I work with a bunch of different publishers. I'm registered with a pro. Like I have to be. Like that's the only way it's gonna work for me. And they were like, yeah, like you can't send us music, can't work with us. Like you just cannot be with a pro at all. So I was like, so you mean to tell me like even if I send you a batch of tracks and just don't register them? And they was just like, nope, can't do it. I was like, wow. So it's one of those situations where it's like, yo, either you just gonna go all in with Epidemic Sound or miss out on like more back end royalty opportunities from Sync. And I don't know if they like I don't know how the whole setup is, because obviously I don't work with Epidemic Sounds, but I don't know if you get, you know, some type of royalties on the back end from people using your music, or if there's just that one time, you know, upfront fee to make the music. I'm not sure how that works. It would be interesting if anybody on here you know, has any experience, definitely chime in. But it's interesting. Should I make an artwork for the album I'm sending to a music library? You don't have to. It's not mandatory. Like if you're an artist, right, and you're like making a legit album, then, you know, of course have an album cover. But you know, it's not necessary to get your music placed. Like I mean, again, like everything I've gotten placed over my career has never had like, I mean, my first one had an artwork, but I don't even think I released that until I got the placement. So it's not necessary for you to do what you need to do. Shout out from South Africa. What's up, Fazil Thela? I don't really know way, but they don't. Oh yeah, you're talking about Epidemic. What's up, Dub V Beats? Y'all better start relearning stock plugins. Listen, man, like for real, like stock plugins are better than people give them credit for. You know, I mean, not like in 2023, you know, it's not gonna be bad. Like it's not gonna be the worst thing. Like I remember back in the day, like Pro Tools LE, those stock plugins, in my opinion, complete garbage. Some of them I still don't like. Their compressor, man, I used to have to put like 2-3 compressors just for that joint to sound like it was being compressed. That thing was weak. But now, you know, they've gotten better across these different DAWs. Like Logic, I love Logic stock plugins. Like my first placement, it was stock plugins for the most part. Like I think I might have had some third party joints on like the master track or whatever. But yeah, you can get the job done. You know, learn what those joints do before you start spending a bunch of money and on subscription fees and plugins and stuff like that. When you're on the road, what music gear do you take with you? Shoot, my iPad. I have some IK multimedia, those little micro monitors. Those things, they're nice. They're like those little, for whatever reason, man, the way they engineered those, they sound pretty good, and they got a little knock to them as well. Like to not have a sub, you can get a pretty decent mix on those. So I'll take those with me. Pair of headphones, and then I don't know where it is, but I have a little my Air Key X Key Air MIDI controller. I'll take that with me, and that's pretty it. And then on my iPad, I have IK Multimedia's like their plugins, like their what do they call it, Mixbox. So I have that installed on there. So they have some solid plugins. So I'll use that. And if most cases, it may be like just to have it, just in case someone hit me up and they need to edit, and I may not even need to pull up plugins. You know what I mean? So if I'm like in the middle of a project and I have to go somewhere, I'll just bounce out all the stems in advance just to like anticipate somebody reaching out to me. I'll bounce all the stems out that I would need. So if they ask me for an edit, I can drag those stems from, box.com or something, drag them into Beatmaker 3 on the iPad, and then do whatever I need to do with those stems. And then, I'll have like a unmastered and a mastered version so that, I can do whatever. If they're mastered, I don't have to put any other plugins on there. I just, drag them in there, make the edits, bounce it back out, and then I'm good to go. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. Headphones, did I mention headphones? I'll have some headphones with me, and that's it. So yeah. QuickBooks been advertising hard after we talked about financial statements tracking. QuickBooks picked up on it. They was like, let's get them now, advertise. That's crazy. It's tax season though. Like, this is when QuickBooks get in the bag, because everybody trying to get taxes done or trying to figure stuff out last minute. Dang it, I still need to do mine, man. I'm doing it. What's today? Today's Wednesday. I'm about to get my stuff together and send over to the people so they can get me right. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. Shoot, this week was supposed to be a priority. It's gonna be done by next week. Because when's the deadline? April 15th? Yeah, I got to get on that. Next week, it's going to be done. Do you let your playlist grow, or do you remove some tracks after it gets to a certain number? What playlist? I'm talking about the one on Spotify. I think I have a playlist on Spotify. I really need to tend to it. Like, I've been so busy with just other stuff. But sometimes I'll swap some tracks out and, add some stuff. I dig my Ableton stock plugins. Yeah, I heard Ableton has some good ones. Cubase, yep. Is it a good idea to have music you've got in place accessible for people to check out? I think so. I'm working on that playlist for you all. I haven't forgotten about you. Last week I said I was going to create like a playlist so people can listen to stuff that has gotten placed, that I've produced personally, just to have a frame of reference for some stuff. So I'm going to put that together. But yeah, like I think it's cool to be able to showcase your work, and let people hear what you can do. Broderick, what's good? Being here, I realize I'm such a beginner. Hey man, it's all good. You got to be a beginner to not be a beginner. We all start somewhere, man. The most important thing is that you started. So shoot, some people don't start because they scared to suck. So shout out to you for being brave, man. That's pretty IT is a new Clint word. That's pretty it. I think it's a typo, LW. Must be a typo. Shout out to LW in the building. What's your thoughts on Giant Disney having to lay off 7,000? Yeesh. Yo, it's a financial move. That's it. All boils down to that. It's a financial move. When I worked for IBM, they used to do the same thing. It was like a cyclical thing. Like, oh shoot, I almost messed up my mouse. Like IBM, every so often, they would just go through a period and just lay off what they say random people. And they would just, they would just lay off a bunch of people. And then you'll hit up one of your guys, and you'll be like, oh yeah, like, yep, got cut. Oh, didn't know that. So yeah, I got laid off. Like, I was in the middle of training. This is when I worked in IT. I was in the middle of training and learning a new system. I was about to go to Colorado to take the in-person class, because like usually how they have it set up for like the big like the bigger systems, like system P and Z and all that stuff, which is, these are like huge servers for anyone that doesn't know. You take, like, there's a virtual portion of it, and then there's like, you actually go to the lab out in Boulder, or where, sometimes it could be North Carolina, just depending on what the system is. But you go, you take a lab, and then you go and you actually kind of get hands-on a little bit, and take a personal class. But yeah, I was in the middle of that, getting ready to go out there, and it was crazy because I just got a bonus. So like, my boss hit me up, my manager, whatever, supervisor, whatever you want to call it, I forget what his official title was, but he hit me up, was like, yeah, you're getting a bonus. Okay, bet. About 2 days later, he hit me up. How's it going? Just wanted to let you know I just got, passed down some information, and unfortunately you got such and such amount of days. I was like, oh, bet. That's what's up. Just got a bonus and also got laid off in the same week. That's nice. So it happens, man. Luckily, I was in a position where it was, it didn't affect me, and IBM gives you a nice severance package. So it's like, you take advantage of it. It's like, okay, bet. Like, I'm not stressing. So it happens, man. These companies, they try and figure out how they can cut budgets. And that's what they do. But 7,000 people is a lot of people. It's crazy. Is Beatmaker 3 an easy learning curve to add to mobile workflow? I think it depends. Like, I'm not 100%, like, I haven't used it in a minute, but it wasn't too hard. It's a bit of a curve though. Coming from Logic, it's a bit of a curve. Like, it's easier to hop in GarageBand on iPad from Logic than Beatmaker 3 on Logic. However, Beatmaker 3 has way more tools and capabilities than GarageBand. So it's like, for some things, Beatmaker 3 is going to be, the best option for like some professional production stuff. So November James, what's good? Gotta be beginning to be a winner. That's a fact. No, wanted to say that's pretty much it, but said that's pretty it. Oh, got you. I currently work in IT. Shout out to the IT people. You know what I noticed? A lot of producers have IT backgrounds, or at least an IT mind. It's the most interesting thing ever. So shout out to everybody who works in IT and produce music. It makes sense for us, I guess. Patty P's in the building. Juan, I see you. Do you have a video that showcases which equipment, software, camera, iPhone you're using to stream? I have an old video. It's time for a new video. It's time for a new studio tour video. I don't, but I have a link to my gear. If you want to, just see all the gear I use, I have it listed out in the description. Just go to my gear list, and then you can see it. But that's something I'll have to put together or something and do another one of those, because I think it's been like, what, couple years since I did a little studio tour video. So yeah, I have to do that. I built my desktop PC. That's dope. Man, Isomatic works in IT. I'm headed in cybersecurity, pen testing. That's dope. Yeah, man, yo, shout out to Dariano for using the PC. I feel like as a PC user, going back to like this whole plug-in talk, like, you have like the least amount of issues, because Windows just they don't update nearly as often as Apple does. Like, I don't know what's wrong with Apple. Like, Like, why? Like, why do you feel like you have to come out with something new every 3 months, every 3 weeks, it seems like. But Windows plugins and software is probably like the most stable stuff because they're not changing a lot, you know. Apple's just been on this crazy kick, and it's like, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with Apple. LW says, no, not me. You said pretty it. Don't credit. Oh, I said pretty it. Don't credit me with your weird words. Pretty it. Sometimes you just like, you don't need the words. It's like, we don't need much. Let's just skip it and just say pretty it. Just get straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? So we'll add that to the live stream dictionary. Look at this. Look, Flares is IT full time. That's crazy. Flares is an IT and a trailer genius. What's up, Raymond? That's dope. I thought I posted Disney info because it speaks to the times we're in, like an economic flop. Man, shoot, yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure, I know for a fact they took a huge hit with, you know, just the whole 2020 thing, but things went up though once things opened up. But yeah, man, I'm not sure what the reason why. I have to look into it. What program would you recommend for brass instruments? I have Omnisphere, but I'm kind of lost when it comes to adding extra instruments. I like Native Instruments brass. I've used some Spitfire brass, depending on like what you're doing, like the style of music. But because Spitfire, I like to, like, if I'm doing like some hip hop joints for sports or something, I like to add some distortion and some like maybe some type of analog warmth or something to the brass from Spitfire. Even to both, I do it to both Spitfire and Native Instruments to just make it a little more gritty. But either one of those, I think you'll be good. But Native Instruments, like their brass library, like what is it? Either one, Brass Essentials or whatever. That'll get you right. So yeah. Flares is in IT. That's it. I'm going into that's the key. That's the key to producing the kind of music that Flares produce. You have to first have a career in IT. That's how this works. Do you have a schedule to create music even when not working on some specific project? What do you recommend on a daily basis? Yeah, so I'm getting back to a schedule. Like usually always at the beginning of the year, things are like off. Like I'm not on like a solid schedule. Like first quarter, now we're kind of going, are we in second quarter yet? We're kind of going in the second quarter. So first quarter, it's always like a bunch of meetings and like just a bunch of craziness going on. So, I'm not like on a strict schedule. Creatively, it's more so priority wise, like what's a priority that like that's what I'm working on, these few things today. But then once things like settle down, and things are a little bit more predictable, I'll have like certain days that are just set aside to create music and work on projects. But then that can shift too, because you all know, like in TV and film, deadlines could be like same day, next day, and you may have to like shift some things around depending on what the deadline is. So it's like, yes, I'll have like a certain, and I have to redo it because at first it was like, what was it? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think, would just be creative days, or was it Monday through Wednesday, something like that. But there would be 3 days where it's just dedicated to music. Other 2 days would be, just like business admin stuff, content creation, and things like that. But yeah, I think you have to figure out what works best for you, what workflow works for you. Because there's different ways you can split it up. You could do it by day, or you could do it like one day You create the ideas. The second day, you structure out the ideas. Third day, you mix them and finish them up. Or you could just, take the 3 days and then start and finish however many you can. So it's up to you and how you want to do it, how much time you have. But yeah, that's usually how I do it. Like I'll have like a few days that's just dedicated to creating music, and I'll just kind of go from there. Or you could do it, depending on how much time, you could do it to where you just block certain hours of your day for certain things. So you could do that as well. And that, honestly, man, that's kind of what I've been doing the past few months. Has just been like, first hour or so in the morning or couple hours is just like reading, learning, getting some information, whether it's an audio book or physical book or whatever. And then I'll go into content creation, getting that ready. A lot of times that's on Monday, and I'll just knock out like, content for the week. But that's been kind of changing because we've been kind of restructuring how we do content and share it and stuff like that, and get it all ready to post and scheduled out. So so that'll probably change. And then from there, just kind of making adjustments and being flexible. So what do you think about trailerized covers? Are they hard to get synced? That's funny. Like we're literally trying to my guy the Fingers just pitched a trailerized cover that was covered by India, which like she did her thing. It's on my Instagram page. Well, if you want to see the trailerized version, go to the Fingers, DAFINGAZ. Go to his page. He has the trailerized version on there. But we're gonna see if we can get that in the hands of somebody and get that pitched and placed or whatever. So we'll see what happens. But like those are one of the things where it's like I don't work on it unless it's requested. In this situation, the Fingers, like a publisher he was working with, actually requested like trailerized covers. So like that's like the only situation where I would like take the time to create something like that. Because number one, they already know like it's a cover, so they're prepared to go through the process of getting it cleared and all that stuff. Otherwise you don't know, like you're just kind of just hoping. And you still kind of hope because you don't really know how that's going to work out until it works out. But I don't, unless a publisher is like explicitly asking me for covers, I don't do them because I don't like, I want to make sure it's something that can actually be used, and I'm not just wasting time pretty much. But there is need for covers occasionally. I would rather Apple updates because a lot of bugs are out there and Windows sometimes runs slow. That's true. I don't like the Windows experience. It's just, man, dude, especially, and it may be because I'm locked into this whole Apple ecosystem. I mean, I got an iPhone, an iPad, and a Mac Studio. Like it's just Apples everywhere. Like my wife has a what do you call it? An iMac, an iPhone, an iPad. So we just got a bunch of Apple stuff. So it's just, to easily be able to just transfer stuff is just, man, it's just so smooth and clean. But I will say this, Windows in a corporate environment is a lot less frustrating than Apple. Like Apple annoyed me a lot, working in corporate environments because they simplified so many things, and it's great for a user. It's great like using it, but like from an IT perspective to do certain things, this like Windows, like you can do it. You can go as deep as and get as specific as you need to, depending on what you're trying to do. But like Apple just makes stuff so simple to where it's like it makes it more complicated to do certain things because they've simplified it too much. So it's funny, man. How it works, man. Blockchain technology is moving quick. Wouldn't it be nice to see these dolls move in a direction where as the bounce files out, they become NFTs on the blockchain? That would be dope. I could see something like that happening in some way, shape, or form. Seems like subscription-based software is the future. Yeah, man. I mean, I was actually just reading a business book, and it talked about successful business models and structures and things like that, and customer ascension, and subscription or like reoccurring payments is like one of those things. Having that element in your business is smart from a business perspective. You can take a customer on a journey. The price may start low, and then you can have different more expensive things as they go through the journey, and then you can also have this this constant flow of revenue. It makes sense from a business perspective to have some type of subscription model in your business, but I feel like there's like a line between having a subscription model in your business and like screwing over your customers who actually pay you. Like, it's like you can't just throw something out there because this is good for business, and then the same people who you expect to pay you feel like you don't care anything about them, and that's when your business stops working, because the people that you're supposed to be in business for don't respect you anymore because you're not looking out for them. And people see straight through that. Like, people saw straight through that when Waves pulled what they did. They was just like, oh no, like there's no way in the world you got insight from the actual community before making this decision. Like, bring a few of, bring a sample of your affiliate community, and bring them all on a Zoom call and pick their brains, because we as leaders in the community and voices and influencers and things like that, like, we have insight because we talk to each other every day. Like, we're on Instagram chopping up, we're on here on YouTube right now chopping it up, so we have insight, and we're creators too. Like, we're producers, we're engineers, so we have a different perspective than just a business owner, because every production software, plug-in software company, like, everyone on the executive board or on the executive team or like decision-making team, everyone isn't creative. Everyone isn't in the community, right? Like, they're just running a business, and sometimes business decisions don't add up with like realistic, like, practical things that we deal with on a day-to-day. So like, I think it's wise for these companies to, like, draw a sample, or figure out a way to get the people you partner with, the influencers, the people who are like in the trenches, who know what's going on, get them in some of these calls before you start making decisions, because you're making decisions without insights from your customers, and then that's when things go wrong, and you see what we've seen this past week. So I think that's just a smart way to move. Like I never want to create anything or sell anything to you guys. It's like, just doesn't serve you. It doesn't make sense. And there's been some things was like, like, yo, like, there's no value. They don't see value in it. So why make it? Why create it? So I think a lot of companies would do a lot better if they did that. Just that small step. So yeah, let's see. Do you think funk, and do Do you like funk, and do you think it will be a needed genre in the sync licensing industry? Is that a different genre, like spelled like that, or are you talking about like FUNK? I only know the FUNK funk. I don't know what this new joint is. I gotta do, if that's something new, I gotta do my research. But yeah, man, that to have that insight would be super valuable. And then you like, people don't feel like they're not being heard because they have representatives from their actual community speaking on their behalf and saying, yo, this is what I'm seeing. Like, these are the trends that we're seeing, in our community, of creators and producers and engineers. This is what a lot of people are saying they don't like. This is what a lot of people are saying they do like. And I think when you kind of build that connection, things work better, man. That's that stank funk. Yeah, man. They, like, again, anything that has trended to some extent, will be requested and like at some point in sync. Like when Bruno Mars came out with what was it? I forgot the name of the song. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It was a freaking smash. Was it 4K Magic? Was that the title of it? Something like that. That was getting requested. Like styles like that was getting requested at some point in time in sync. So like, anything that's just like super hot right now, even on the charts, it usually comes around in sync as well. Because people are like placing that song in a bunch of things and they just can't afford to license it. So if they get alternatives from like indie musicians, they can get it for cheaper, while still being able to pay an indie musician, which like an indie musician is like, yo, oh, you gonna give me like 4 or 5 figures for this? Bet. Whereas like, a major label is like laughing at you like, nah, like our floor is like way more than what your max budget is. So 24K Magic, that's what did I say? 4K Magic, terrible. I'm thinking about these cameras. So yeah. Yeah. So that stuff, it gets used, man. It definitely gets used and requested. So, okay, here we go. We got some insight. Funk, the funk spelled PHONK, the genre which is often used in videos with drifting cars, basically cowbell melodies and heavy distorted 808s. No, like now I want to see what this is. Let's no, I can't do that. I would do it on it. If this wasn't a podcast recording, I would like pull it up on on like YouTube, but we have to be able to use this recording for the podcast. But I'm gonna check that out. That sounds interesting. Melodic cowbell melodies. That sounds super interesting. I probably heard it. Like, some things like you heard, but you just never knew like the official title of it or name of it. It's probably one of those things. Vex gave us some insight too. It's a sub-genre hybrid hip hop and trap blend, pretty popular at the moment, but only if you listen to it. If not, you're not missing anything. But funk is trying to be more into the mainstream. Okay, that's dope. I've heard of the spelling, but never the genre. That's interesting. Yeah, now I'm interested. Now I'm gonna check it out. Yeah. So yeah, let me know what other questions you guys have. Production, sync, music biz wise, whatever. But yeah, man, it's definitely been eventful. But yeah, man, there's some people out there. I mean, they still feel like Waves, they could do more, specifically with that update plan. So we'll see. we'll see. I know they're going through all these videos and emails and stuff. I listen to funk. I get to a point that there isn't much change to the style of funk. There's enough funk channels at YouTube to check it out. Steps to getting rights to music. Man, you gonna have to talk to an attorney or something, or a publisher. I think the first step. This is what I would do. This is gonna be the easiest way if you're trying to get rights to something. You can hit up like an entertainment attorney, or you can hit up like a company that deals with clearances, which I had one on the podcast. Was that last year? DMG music clearances, or DMG clearances. So I would hit up a company like that, where it's like that's all they do. They specialize in it. They're great at it. They've cleared a lot of big records. That's what I would do. And then they can let you know, like, if it's something you can even get rights to, depending on what you're trying to do with it. Whether it's a sample or cover or whatever, that's probably the step that I would take. But I don't deal with that a lot, because I'm usually just making original stuff for sync. So yeah, how is the sync game for vocalists and or vocal arrangers? I think it's cool if you create the full song, because just being a vocalist or just being a vocal arranger like that could get you placements, but it has to be a final product. Like, you can't just have well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say you can't just have like just vocals, because somebody may request like an acapella song. So in that case, you win. But I think, turning them into full songs, full production, and things like that is helpful. And then the fact that you're an arranger and a vocalist, and then if you can perform those songs to make them sound great, then boom, it's like a one-stop shop. Like, you would rather work with someone who can cut and arrange and sing like their own vocals versus someone who can only write like lyrics but they can't sing. So now you got the lyrics, but now you got to find somebody to sing. And then the singer, if the singer's not a good vocal arranger, now you got to find somebody to arrange the vocals. So kind of being a one-stop shop is beneficial, in my opinion. And that's usually like the writers that I've done stuff with, like they can sing, they can write, they can record, they can arrange, and it's just a boom, one-stop shop, and it makes things go a lot smoother. As far as like splits and all that stuff. Have you ever experienced a delay past 9 months and your cue sheets populating with your pro? Absolutely. What was it? Was it Married to Medicine? I think took a minute, man. It was a minute before I seen cue sheets come in for that. So yeah, I have experienced that before, and it does happen, because like if the production company who did the show or whatever like just drags their feet with sending that stuff in, it could be a minute. So it can happen. And it's probably stuff that like I don't even know. That's probably like mad late. You know what I mean? I have a 7-track playlist in disco. Should I remove a track when I create something new, or keep adding to that playlist to 15 plus tracks? If you're just like pitching, if this is like a playlist just to pitch, like I keep it short, like 5 tracks. And then as those tracks get signed by companies, then I'll rotate and add new tracks in. That's how I would do it, versus sending them like 15 plus tracks like for the first submission. It could be overwhelming. Send a few, and then if they like those, they'll ask for more, or they'll sign those, and then you can give them more. But that's usually how I start, and then just keep those other ones in the chamber. Excuse me. So you'll have them when they ask. Is it best to make full songs for music supervisor instead of sending instrumentals? I think so. I think music supervisors love full songs personally. My My placement, first placement with an actual music supervisor, like directly to supervisor, was a full song. So I think they definitely love those. But make sure you also send them the instrumentals with the full songs so that they have that as well. So yeah. A Major Keys, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Yo, there definitely must have been an update because now the text on this is really, really small. Drift Funk. All these names. All right, let's see. What other questions do we have? I discovered the music for film and TV hustle like 10 years ago. To this day, the genre still is a separate entity. Yeah, man, it's like it's in its own lane for real, you know, and it's cool. And it, honestly, man, the community is rather small. Like it's not massive. You know, everybody like kind of know who works in the whole sync space. So it's dope. And I mean, honestly, it's like, it's kind of its own thing in regards to music because it's really the TV and film industry. It's not necessarily the music industry. It's like it's TV and film. So we're like catering to the TV and film side of things versus like the music industry side of things, the major labels and you know, that whole process of, you know, creating music for artists and things like that. So that's why it seems like it's kind of in its own little pocket because it's honestly in a completely separate industry. You know, but some like a lot, it crosses over, like, you know, the music that's made on the music industry side of things crosses over into TV and film because TV and film needs music. So it's like, well, they already create music. Like, let's use the music that's being created from the music industry. So, you know, it crosses over, but, you know, independent music makes up the majority of all the music that you hear on TV and film, which is interesting. Because a lot of people think like, oh, like, you know, I have to have a major deal and major connections and stuff like that. But you don't. You can be an independent that nobody knows and just make great music, and it can get placed in TV shows and films and commercials and all that stuff. So great opportunity. Shout out to the producer whisperer. What's up, bro? Hope all is well. So yeah, I love it though. Everybody I've run into on like the TV film side, which has been dope people. So I like it. They don't take themselves too serious. Let's see. Jerome, what's up? We got time for like a couple more questions. Be on here for a few more minutes. As an upcoming producer, would you say you should make the beat for yourself first to enjoy before making adjustments for whoever's looking to use it? That depends. Like, I mean, I think it always starts for yourself, right? I mean, because going back, I'm gonna start thinking about beats I made when I first started. Oh my gosh. But I mean, it was just me just playing, like just having fun and learning at the same time. Then when you're ready to cross over and do this professionally, you have to start thinking about the client that you're serving if you want to actually do it professionally and give value to the people who actually need it. And you know, that being selfish and just wanting to create it is like a thin line, because, you know, you can create what you want to create as long as it's in the guidelines of what the client needs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not in here creating music. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Is stupid. Like, this isn't what I would do. No, like, I'm going to do what I would do. I'm going to create how I interpret the instructions that I receive from the publisher or from, you know, whoever the client is. And I'm gonna do it my way. So like if you're asking for triumphant music that's talking about victory or winning or something like that, I'm gonna do that, and I'm just gonna do it how I would do it. So that would be my recommendation. Like, yeah, like, you have to, make music that you like, or that you feel is good. You also, on a professional level, have to give people what they're asking for, or you just gonna be in your studio by yourself, broke. But not broke, because I mean you can have a career, but you just won't be doing music professionally if you don't learn how to serve other people. So that's what I would say on that. Yes, indeed. Happy Wednesday. Kim Durr has made it to the building. What's up, Kim? Kim came like the last 1 minute of the podcast. What's good, Kim? This week we did a different time though, so we've been all over the place. Kid Strange, does your course include a contact list of supervisors? Do I have some supervisors in there? I think some music supervision companies and then libraries. And the reason why I gave you mostly libraries and music supervision companies is because, especially if you're just starting out, those are easier to get into. And I think it's a great place to start so you can start to see what the process looks like, and what they're asking for. Because the briefs that you're getting from the publishers, like those are the briefs that supervisors are sending them, versus like going straight to the supervisor and you've never done it before. You may do something crazy and they're like, what? You don't know what's going on. You don't know what you're doing. And then you may mess up a relationship. You don't want to do that. So yeah, but it's like over 100 companies you can start reaching out to and researching, if you enroll in the Road to 10 Placements course. And that's the only way you can get that directory, is by enrolling. So if you want to enroll in the Road to 10 Placements course, click the link in the description or go to Road to 10 Placements, the number 10, road to the number 10 placements.com, and then you can enroll. So yeah, and that's my whole blueprint, man. It's everything I did to, really get the ball moving and, start getting TV placements as a producer. So I kind of give you everything you need to do the same thing. So yeah, JL Mixed It checking in. What's good? I won't be able to make it to live music review show later on. Someone make sure the newbies are prepped for flares. Michael won't be in here to give the disclaimer, so we're gonna have to. Yeah, we'll figure out a way to disclaim the people from flares. So yeah, if you guys aren't doing anything tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, make sure you come back for the live music reviews here on YouTube. And we're gonna see if your music is ready for TV and film. We usually have a good time. There's a lot of jokes. And interesting things that happen during those shows, so don't miss it. But yeah, that's it. Better late than never. Exactly. Hey, you made it. That's the point. You made it. So yeah, we'll make sure somebody ties Patty down, because we know she gonna run. So yeah, I think we have a dedicated Patty tie downer in the stream when we do the music reviews. So yeah, but that's it, man. I am out. Shout out to everybody that was in this joint. We'll be back later tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't already, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want some special extra sauce, behind the scenes videos and things like that, then consider becoming a member of this channel and join Team Dope or Team Super Dope, whichever one you want. There's 2 different levels you can join at. So the link to that stuff is in the description as well. But that's it, man. I'm out. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.